All right. Couple big things happen on this day.
They did. I went to my first Orange Theory fitness class.
Oh, shoot. Is that what that smell is?
No, that's what The Rock's cooking.
Orange Theory. That's where you go when you learn how to make Orange Julius, right?
God, I wish.
Oh,
Should we do an episode about Orange Julius?
we could. I
Not,
haven't had
not
one.
for this podcast, but I mean for the other one.
I haven't had one in a while. So.
Oh, man,
I used to love them too.
I loved Orange Julius.
Yeah.
I feel like if I knew everything that was in it, I would love it a lot less now. But man, Orange Julius was the shit. Although in everybody else's defense, it may have not liked Orange Julius for some reason. I had a weird affinity for Tang also, and Tang's gross.
I still have an infinity for Tang.
There's something about it.
You're talking about the drink. Oh, I was talking about something totally different.
The movie Pootie Tang?
Yeah, Pootie Tang. Huge fan. Huge fan.
But even though I did go to Orange Theory Fitness this morning with the missus,
Got some sad news in the fitness era. I think.
that was not the biggest fitness news today, or the saddest fitness news, because I did wreck myself pretty good. No. Richard Simmons, American icon.
The great Richard Simmons.
May or may not have passed away today, but it was announced that he passed away today.
Yeah.
There's a lot of circular stories happening that may make you think he died 3 years ago. But the point is, today it was announced that he passed away.
Yeah, and he hadn't been seen in a while either. Like he was kind of a recluse thing.
Yeah.
But he was kind of part of our youth, right? He grew up with him.
It's like losing Bob Ross.
Oh, no.
No, it is. And I'm going to tell you why.
Bob Ross wasn't as glittery though.
Nobody has to. Jesus Christ.
Nobody has to be glittery? Tell that to Edward and the vampires.
No, they have to be glittery.
No, they're sparkly. Same diff.
Yeah. Look at this bedazzled fuck. Anyways, so no, the way that they're the same to me is they made what they did accessible to everybody.
True. That was his strength.
Like Bob Ross made painting accessible to everybody because he was uniquely suited to teach how to make.
I would say Richard Simmons is more well known though.
Probably.
Yeah. He was more commercial.
Yeah. Because he was worldwide commercial. I don't know that Bob Ross was worldwide commercial.
Well, in the 80s, if you were growing up, there was in the fitness regime, it was like you had Jane Fonda, because she did some fitness videos people lost their mind about. And then you had Richard Simmons, who was like, hey, normal people, come dance with me and he'd never
also had Denise Austin and Tony Little. But
those terms.
There was a long stretch of time on ESPN where like the morning shows weren't morning shows. It was like back to back to back workout shows.
Yeah. And some of them were a little racy, a little
sexually charged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it did get men up in the morning and worked out.
Well, it got men up in the morning. We don't know that they were working out.
My dad used to get up and worked out. He worked out to those.
I bet he did.
Yeah. Well, I was there when he's sweating to the oldies.
Dad, just so you know, you're supposed to wear underpants when you do this.
Why are you sitting down while you work out?
That's not the kind of lifting. It's not important. The point is, really sad news today.
Yeah, I don't know. His in the 80s when we were kids, I don't know how much in the 90s is, because 90s is kind of when he tapered off a little bit. But he did some real famous books, and didn't he have an eating program?
I think so.
That was really big. And he was never he never looked super fit. Like he didn't look not in shape, but he looked like a guy who used to be big, like he was.
He looked like a level of fitness that the normal person could attain, which I think made
like somebody who walked
bigger
a lot or something like that.
Sure.
But then he did tan, and he would be a little sparkly with a little bit of like shiny legs in his little hairy chest. But he was infectious, and like I don't know much about him in his other part of his life. I've heard there's some things that are a little off, but he seemed like a sweet guy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't, I know money became a thing because he got so big, but he really did seem like he was just doing it to help people. It didn't seem like, and then that caught fire.
Yeah. And he was like ubiquitous with the fitness world, you know,
because like Jane Fonda she was way in shape when she was doing those.
Yeah. Until Chuck Norris came out with Total Gym.
What about, didn't MC Hammer have one when you like dance all that stuff off?
Did he? I don't know.
God, I wish he did. Maybe it was Kid and Play. I don't know. one of those guys.
The best part about Total Gym was it was Chuck Norris and Christy Brinkley about 10 years after they should have been doing anything.
I don't know. Christy Brinkley hasn't aged.
I mean, she's aged, but not as much as you would expect by this point.
That's true. Chuck Norris looks scary.
Yeah.
Not good scary. Like quit putting claymation on him and sticking straw on his head so he has hair.
Mm-hmm.
And just be an old man who was awesome back in the 80s and 90s.
But there was also the late 90s, early 2000s fad of talking about things Chuck Norris did. Like when he does push-ups, he doesn't push himself up. He pushes the world down.
Yeah, those still go around.
Those are golden.
Yeah, some of them are pretty good. There's this thing too. If you see online, I don't know what game it is or what PC thing it is, but they do like ninja versus like 10 dinosaurs or whatever. And one of them was like they took like one Chuck Norris and they took like 10,000 ninjas or something like that. And he kicked all their asses.
Of course he did.
And they make them run towards each other and they fight. So
Chuck Norris for sure would have ruled most of Europe.
You think so?
Yeah. By himself.
Maybe. No, he got taken down.
I'm sure he would have taken out Genghis Khan. That guy that, made all the babies.
Imagine if Chuck Norris had took over his spot. Just a bunch of Chuck Norris babies running around. Oh, man.
Why all these kids got a mustache?
All right. Well, this is going to be a fun episode, I guess. Does this still hang out with your Slang Out?
I think we'll find out after the break.
All right. I'll say all right one more time.
All right. All right. What was the thing that I wanted to do? Because it really has annoyed me lately.
Oh, I've had one that's annoying the shit out of me.
I want to look this up because it's been super popular, apparently in the TikTok world.
Okay.
Roman Empire.
What? Is that for real?
Mm-hmm. Somebody will say, my Roman Empire is, and then I haven't really gotten a grasp on what it is, but I need to figure it out so that I can hate it properly. Because I know I'm a nerd. I love me some Roman Empire.
Are they spelling it the way it's supposed to be spelled?
Yeah.
Roman Empire slang.
Weird.
Roman
Very specific.
Empire refers to a 2023 TikTok trend where people would ask their male partners how often they thought about the Roman Empire, to which the majority responded with pretty often. It's since devolved into a catchphrase referring to something one thinks about very often. That's dumb.
Yeah, it is. Ready? My Roman Empire is thinking about how stupid slang terms are, like Roman Empire.
So Roman Empire, slang expression for something that someone constantly thinks about, used especially by girls on TikTok. So that does fit you. Inspired and popularized by the belief that most men often think about the actual Roman Empire and its legacy. Wow, this is dumb.
Why? Do you not think about the Roman Empire and so now you feel slighted in some way?
I really don't.
You really should.
If I'm watching a TV show about it. Or,
like what TV show?
Like Destination Unknown or something like that. Something with Josh Gates when he goes and tries to find Roman empires and shit.
Destination Unknown. That's the lyrics to a 90s song.
No, that's the lyrics to a 2000 Ubastang song.
Destination Unknown while we pull in for some gas. Listen, mistakes were made. Maybe we shouldn't record.
To be right up on the mic tonight.
Might need to. You know what I was looking at the other day is they have
Roman destination porn.
Did you say Roman destination porn?
Yeah. RDP?
Anyways, so you don't think about the Roman Empire? Is that what I'm hearing? Also, the easy pick on shows about the Roman Empire would have been one of the possibly top 10 best shows of all time. Rome.
No. Fantasy Island
is not about the Roman Empire.
What about Love Island 4? Aren't they in Rome for that one?
They're probably in Greece.
Okay. Well, Love Island, of course, there's Grease involved. It's part of the plot. You have to look good in Grease.
I thought you meant that like they recreate the musical.
That's a Crisco shout out for all my people out there.
So I'm getting the feeling you don't want to do Roman Empire because you've decided it's stupid and don't want to talk about it.
No, it's stupid. So let's go for it. Because I mean, lately, stupid has been our calling card for some of these episodes for these words.
To quote,
I just honestly, I haven't heard it yet.
To quote one of the true intellectuals in movie history, "Stupid is as stupid does."
So basically it's just supposed to mean that's something we're just always thinking about.
I guess so. And
so you just call that your Roman Empire.
And I think it's funny because I think if it really did stem, which it seems to have, from girls who asked their male significant others if they thought about the Roman Empire, like there aren't, I don't know, a billion other things you could have come up with prior to the Roman Empire, like baseball or
Transformers,
your fantasy football roster.
Is it all sports?
Probably.
Yeah, for men, yes, actually. This reminds me of the meme where I've seen different versions of it where it's like
Top Gun.
Like they're laying in, like the couple's laying in bed and he's like, oh, he's probably thinking about that girl or he's probably thinking about this. And then in their mind, he's like thinking of like NASCAR or something or something that's real guyish. So I've seen that.
So not NASCAR.
Yeah. What? You know, I'm a huge NASCAR fan.
I mean, that explains a lot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a huge Dirk Ryder fan.
Dirk Ryder?
That's one of the race car drivers, right?
I don't know.
This is a sport you don't know about?
That is a sport I don't know about because one, driving in circles is not a sport.
He's making a left turn.
It happens every day at traffic circles around the continental United States.
Mm-hmm. What's that guy's name? Dick Trickle?
Dick Trickle, yeah.
Just about the best name. Next to Dick Van Dyke, but
Dick Trickle is a fantastic name, if only because he had so many chances to go by Richard.
Yeah.
Or anything else. And he was like, nope, let's lean in. Speaking of TikTok and Dick Van Dyke, have you seen that thing where they put like hip hop music to a scene of him dancing and whatever it was?
I've seen him do like the heavy metal stuff, like thrash music.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Lately, my Roman Empire is this podcast. I think about it a lot.
You feel like you would be better at it if you thought about it that much.
Really?
I feel like you should be if you think about it that much, yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking about it that much because I need to get better at it? Or I need to figure out how to get you better at it?
I don't think you need to figure that out.
I don't know.
I think I've really dialed it in.
You know what I'm proud of you for?
Not making fun of you 3 times already?
Yes. You know what else I'm proud of you for?
What's that?
We went out to a brewery the other night.
We sure did.
Should we give them a shout out?
Well, it wasn't a brewery, but
like, what's it called?
It's a tap room.
Same thing, right?
Dynamite Beer Company. Shout out.
It doesn't even say tap in the name.
Okay.
All right. Dynamite Beer Tap.
Dynamite Beer Company. Shout out to Mike Chapman.
And we did, they were doing what? Name that tune? Like a version of it?
Mm-hmm. Not a virgin of it. That was version.
But Mike, was that his name?
Well, he wasn't there.
I know, but like you start serving up virgins there, you're good. You're golden. He'll make the next level of dynamite.
I don't.
What's the next measure of dynamite?
I don't know.
Nitroglycerin?
Getting that statement right without stuttering all over it.
Oh, I'll edit it. It'll be fine. It's going to be smooth.
What's the dynamite?
What I was proud of you for was just how excited you were and how much you were promoting the podcast.
Oh, yeah. I try not to do that very often.
Yeah, he's real bad at that. He could have been doing this for years. Like years.
I feel like I did it the other day, too. I don't remember. It came up at work for some odd reason, and I was talking about my podcast. And I'm like, you have a podcast? I was like, doesn't everybody have a podcast? I don't listen to theirs, but you should listen to mine.
Yeah. But I just, and honestly, it was pretty organic the way we were trying to promote it that night. And it's kind of a clever little grassroots, kind of like a grassroots version, like promotion, down to earth.
I don't think that's what grassroots means.
What's it mean? It's where grass grows from, right?
Sure, but grass, the way their root system works is that it spreads.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, you were spreading that night. That's how.
And is all interconnected.
There was no connection, but he was spreading like crazy in the dynamite butter.
That wasn't Dynamite Beer Co. That was later at Beef.
Oh, okay. And in all seriousness, one of the best like little stone bread, flatbread pizza things I've ever had.
Yeah.
The Three Little Pigs, man. That thing.
Just for the record, Mike's doing very well, but he doesn't make enough to sponsor us yet. So like back it off a little bit.
You can't say his name one more time, right? Bad things. Well, he's not a celebrity.
Well, that time I just said Mike. I didn't say his whole name. There are so many Mikes. I can't possibly kill them all just by saying Mike 3 times.
What was his name? Mike Bellarosa?
Yeah, that was it.
All right.
It was
Mike Bella Lugosi?
Mike Shamalama Ding Dong.
Mike Skibbity Riz.
It's weird. That is his name. Funny how that turned out to be slang.
Now he's going to be my new Roman Empire.
You're going to think about Mike all the time?
Mike Skulls. What is
Mike Wazowski?
Wazowski. Thank you. I don't know what I was going to go Strozowski for.
Because you don't know Polish last names like
I'm
I do.
a Stroz man.
He didn't even look Polish.
Really?
Yeah.
Them Poles are tough.
Yeah, but they're not green dots with skinny ass arms and legs coming out.
All righty.
So
do you have a Roman Empire?
Do I have a Roman Empire? Like things I think about all the time?
Mm-hmm. That'd be hard for you because I think you're always thinking about shit.
Yeah, but there's specific things. Like I am always thinking about opening a restaurant, brewery, whatever. Okay. Always thinking about it.
Yeah.
To the point where Candace tells me to stop thinking about it. Which is probably smart.
Just do it.
It's not quite as simple as just do it.
Didn't Mike Strozowski, wasn't he going to do, what was it, Mike Balbazar? What was his name? Wasn't that the guy you wanted to team up with?
Well, that was the guy that we were going to team up with to do the breakfast place.
Yeah. Cluck Cluck Deuce?
No, Basted.
Did you even tell him about Cluck Cluck Deuce?
Now I've ruined it because I threw the name out. You have to cut the name.
Oh, well. We've mentioned Basted before, though.
Yeah, but at some point, somebody's going to be like, that's fucking genius. And they're going to think of all the positives of it that I already have in my head, and they're going to take it and run. Who am I kidding? Nobody listens.
Just trade
just money to open a restaurant.
Just trademark it real quick. Basted. And then you can sue them. Like, but do you have a restaurant? No, but I have the trademark.
I have merch.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Just because I haven't heard it used. I may have heard it in a TikTok and didn't realize that was a thing. Roman Empire. It just seems too specific. Like it doesn't, like it seems like they should have gave it some kind of like, Romamp or something, like done something stupid to it. So it's not Roman Empire. It's some version of it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're so good at shortening things into things that are stupid. So you would have expected something like that. But then that, I guess, because it's based on a question that somebody asked somebody, you wouldn't be like, do you always think about Romamp? Like the guy would have been like, what?
Hemp? What'd you say?
But instead they said Roman Empire and they're like, oh, fucking Nero, man. Am I right?
Fuck that guy. That guy's hot.
That guy was a piece of shit, right? Can we talk about Brutus for a second? Stabbing people in the back?
Well, we could do this like when I was a kid, I would have had a different Roman Empire. When I was a teenager, becoming a young adult, I would have had a different Roman Empire.
Well, teenager to now, I'm pretty sure your Roman Empire is boobies.
Yes. But I mean, that's technically every heterosexual man's Roman Empire.
You think it is?
Well, you can say that you like, oh, it's about restaurants, but yeah, you're thinking about serving it on boobies.
I'm not.
No, that's how the guy, whoever came up with Hooters, wasn't real original, but God damn it, that's the easiest way to make money.
I wanted to do the same restaurant, but with male servers.
Banana?
No. What?
Banana hammocks.
Oh. It's going to be called Foghorns. Foghorn, Leghorn, Rooster, Cock.
Shouldn't have just called it cock.
Nah. Too easy.
Cocksure.
Foghorns.
Foghorns is actually great because I could see the little, especially if you actually get okayed to use the mascot, if you could actually use him as a character, which they'd probably not okay that.
I said. What's your Roman Empire now outside of boobies?
Well,
what was your Roman Empire as a kid? Boys.
God, when I was a kid,
Pogs. No, you're too old for that.
No, when I was a kid, it really would have been something like Transformers, like everything about the toys. I don't know. That would have been split up between Voltron and stuff too. But like when I was a kid, riding bikes was a huge thing because I was in that little shitty town. I couldn't do anything but that. So that took up a lot of time. But when the Atari first came out, still the coolest thing in the world, like arcades and video games. So for a while there, that was everything until.
Yeah, I think it's funny that I make fun of Reese sometimes for how much he plays video games because I did the same thing. I just didn't have access to anybody else. I was playing just to entertain myself.
Yeah. I would love to be able to go back in time for when like someone sat down and put the Atari 2600 on, flipped on the Asteroids or Donkey Kong on it.
I want to understand. They've been bringing back all these old systems, right? And like what's old is new again, sort of. Like, why aren't they making it so that those systems games can now be played head to head online? Like that would be a game changer. Everybody our age would go back and start playing online.
That is a good point. That's a real good point. Well, I was going to say that it would be cool to sit down and then as the kid turns that on, you like literally plug in the PlayStation 5 or something and flip that on for the graphics where it looks like a movie and they'd be like, head would just explode.
Yeah.
I remember when because we grew up with that. And then I remember when the first PlayStation graphics hit and you look at them now and they're god awful. They're just all pixelated.
But at the time we were like, they're so realistic.
My God, like Mortal Kombat and stuff. You were just like, they look real.
It's like looking at a photograph.
Or the first time Star Fox came out. Do you remember Star Fox 64? That was like next level. Like that's the stuff they train on in like NASA. And I look at it now, I'm like, well, that's just triangles and rectangles. It's just in a 3-dimensional scheme. And it's not even shaded that well.
It was honestly the same thing that we had played forever. It's just instead of boxes around the side, they just smoothed it out.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I would love to go back in time and blow some little kid's mind.
I'm glad you said mind.
Well, so maybe my Roman Empire. No, never mind.
And that's why he can't live that close to a school.
Yeah. And obviously when I was older teenager, it was technically, I think every guy's it's boobies, but music was super important to me. So, and I was thinking about songs and lyrics all the time just to get the boobies and stuff. But technically I was thinking about that legitimately. And my slam poetry.
Did you really have slam poetry?
No, I just wrote lyrics down and threw them on the ground really hard. Slam poetry. Pretty clever, huh? But from like 25 on, my Roman Empire were my kids. Because it's like once you have kids, it's like, at least for us, especially me, every waking decision you make is based around them. Like you can't even just think about something random like going to the movies. It's like, well, what am I going to do with my kids first? Or can I take them to that movie? Or what food are we eating? Well, I don't care what I'm eating. I got to feed them first. And so it's weird how everything is just around your kids.
Yeah.
And then you see people like that let their kids.
And you still took them to Terminator 2, which I think was a tough choice. But
no. Took them to
Bloodsport.
Exorcist. Yeah. That's why they don't believe in God now.
That's why.
Yeah. That and all the, physical abuse.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was mine when I was a kid? I had a bunch. Same, like you're a kid, so you're stupid. So you like have favorite things every other week, right?
Yeah.
They change all the time. So like baseball cards for a while, comic books for a while.
Oh shit, I should have said comics.
Video games for a while. Yeah, but for me it was like comic books that nobody would read. Like I was a huge Darkhawk fan.
That's fine. But like if you got into that, it was like a serial thing. You had to wait a month for that next issue. So you would be sitting, especially if it was written really well and you were totally into that comic, you'd be sitting there going, oh God, I can't wait for that comic. I used to do the same thing.
Now I think that issue number 1's worth some money, which sucks because I don't have it anymore.
I actually think I had that comic.
Actually, I think I did have it until fairly recently, and I think I gave it to Joey because he actually still collects comics. For me, I was like, What am I going to do with it?
You should have priced it first.
Thanks for the $1 billion.
You should have priced it first.
Speaking of comics that I enjoyed and probably thought about a lot when I was a kid, Calvin and Hobbes. That could have been my Roman Empire for a while. Like, I fucking loved Calvin and Hobbes. But I was watching Receiver on Netflix the other day.
Okay.
Which is this new show about NFL receivers because they'd already done quarterback.
Yeah.
And so, fortunately, as a 49er fan, they only have 5 receivers they talk about, and 2 of them play for the 49ers. But George Kittle, our tight end, I didn't know this because in a football game, you never see their actual hands because they're covered in gloves. But he has a tattoo of Hobbs' head on the back of his right hand.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I remember
Which is cool because I felt like I had a connection with him because in my varsity Letterman jacket, I did a drawing of Hobbs passing a baton like for track and field to Calvin.
That's really cool. I remember the first time I saw the artwork for Calvin and Hobbes, and to me that took, because I saw it as a comic strip, and to me that level of art is what I've only seen like in comic books. I hadn't seen that kind of level of art in like the Sunday morning papers and stuff. And I was just like, God, that's just perfect. And the only one, we've never talked about this, the only one that rivaled Calvin and Hobbes for me was The Far Side.
Gary Larson's a goddamn genius.
We should do a whole episode on The Far Side. It's just perfect. They're like, people.
It's perfect and obviously funnier now because like it was funny at the time, but it falls into that category of The Simpsons, right? Like I think there are certain parts of those comics that you don't get properly until you're an adult.
I can't believe we've gotten through 70 episodes and not even mentioned The Far Side.
Yeah, Far Side was pretty fantastic. Far Side was definitely my dad's favorite for a while.
We even talked about this before, like comic strips on one of the episodes, and I brought up like Garfield, and then we talked about Calvin and Hobbes, and I'm like, nothing trumped The Far Side. Like once you discover that, it was just like, it was the best.
It's the best part about Far Side is it, like it made its point. It was sort of, it wasn't heavy political, but like it would kind of make jokes about stuff like that. But the best part to me is basically it was a running weekly dad joke.
And it was
because all of it was super punny.
It was one shot half the time. It wasn't like 2 or 3 things. It was like you got one picture to tell
an entire story.
Yeah, it was the best. And sometimes you had to look around it and it would get funnier as you were noticing stuff in the story because you're like, oh, I get it. The deer shooting the hunter and stuff. And then you look and
I wonder if there's a Far Side comic about the Roman Empire. Probably.
We could do it. Should we make that happen?
Oh.
No. Are you going to use Roman Empire after this?
No, probably not. Just because I think it's stupid. I'd rather say, what do you think about a lot? Especially because I feel like it should have a different meaning. Now that I know the meaning of it, it's sort of more frustrating.
It doesn't seem like it fits to me.
No. But again, we didn't pay attention to the trend that made it popular, right?
Yeah. I think the trend's already gone, though.
I don't know. I'm still seeing it.
Are you? Okay. I mean, 2023 isn't that far ago, so it could still be going. And maybe I have seen it and just never realized that.
Like to me, what's your Roman Empire is what's the thing that you think is more dominating than anything else? Like the original USA Dream Team.
Ooh, yeah.
They were a Roman Empire.
Still are. All right, Roman Empire. I guess it was all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we talked about it because I can guarantee you, and when I say that, I mean guarantee you, that nobody our age knew what that meant until just now.
And I'm still a little shaky on that.
Yeah.
But that's
I can half guarantee you that most kids that use it don't know what it means either.
They don't know what the Roman Empire is.
Also, kids, stop using that term and just go study the Roman Empire.
They're going to be like, that's the second Star Wars, right?
The Roman Empire is the second best book next to the Bible.
Oh, is it?
Oh, sorry. Third best book, Jurassic Park, the Bible, then the Roman Empire.
No, what's the book when Oprah lost all that weight?
Shazam. No.
That would have been awesome, though.
That was a shitty Shaquille O'Neal movie.
Yeah.
I will say for Roman Empire that I think if you apply it to certain people, it makes more sense. Like, what was Jeff Bezos's Roman Empire? Like, making a lot of money. Well, guess what? He did. And now he basically has the Roman Empire of online sales.
But he still thinks about, that's still probably his Roman Empire. This has been the Roman Empire version of Hang Out with Your Slang Out?
It's been a Roman vacation.
Has it?
Sure. Wasn't that a movie? Roman vacation.
It should be a thing.
Roman something. I don't know.
Romancing the Stone.
Different.
All right. Well, I'm Dan.
I'm Caesar.
You are Caesar. Et tu Brute or whatever. What the hell are you saying?
Et tu Brute.
Hey, I did something right.
Accidentally, yes.
Yeah, I'm backing out of this. I'm good.
Yeah, shut it down.
Later, guys. Hey, we'll get back to the actual word here, but have you done the 23andMe thing yet?
No.
Then you don't know how Jewish you are. I could be more Jewish than you,
But you're not.
but you can't prove it. I got it on paper. I got it on my phone. I can show you right now how Jewish I am. What if you're less Jewish than me?
I think statistically that's almost an impossibility. What's the percentage again? It's sub 1%, yes?
I think it's like 0.056 or something like that. Or 6.5.
That's like
It's pretty good.
That's like at one point an Ashkenazi Jew walked past a family member of
It's
yours.
like he's like spit on me.
Sneezed on him, and now you're that much Jewish.
I don't get it.
That is such a little percentage that I would argue that your relative, who happens to be Jewish, built the pyramids, because mathematically that's how far you would have to go back to get a percentage that low.
Oh my goodness! All right, where is it at here? You need to do it just so we
Which,
can figure.
for the record, happened before the Roman Empire.
It is 0.6%, dude. I am almost. If you got to round that up, I'm 1%.
But you don't get to round it up.
Why not?
Because then you would lose percentage somewhere else, or you would end up being more than 100% of a person. Which
Sounds
just,
a little anti-Semite.
You can't tell me.
Well, I don't know how. I don't know how Jewish you are.
What would be really funny, except that I've been part of the conversations that took place after the fact. What would be really funny is if I took 23andMe and it turns out I wasn't Jewish.
It would be awesome.
There would be so many things to figure out at that point, because now I found out that my grandpa most certainly was. So, like, what happened?
Imagine the apology you'd have to make out of all the episodes we've referred to you how Jewish you are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.